Welcome to Knafs at Night. I'm Ben.
I'm Austin.
Today we're talking about 14 years of my knife collection, including the latest, greatest, and grandest, the Timber Rattler.
We're also talking about the latest, but teeniest edition, the Lander 6.
And we've got a Mecha Godzilla for Fresh Prince.
Let's go! We do a weekly giveaway. Last week's winner was Henry C. from Virginia. We typically give away a Lander 1 every single week. All you got to do is sign up. You can head on over to knafs.com/newsletter. Sign up over there and enter to win.
Enter to win every week?
Every single week.
I love it. Here's the deal, guys. Today we're looking at the knives I bought, the knives I received, and what's that section over there, Austin?
These are the knives that were also bought for research.
I love it. We're going to dive into that. We'll have our regular show today. Let's start on this side with knives I bought.
Yes.
This is probably my favorite edition lately. This is a Walter Wells custom.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to buy this.
Where'd you get it?
So I bought this from a guy named Zach there's this event in Texas every year. You've been twice now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a dinner event where everyone brings their knife collections and you just like chit chat, like zero pressure. And my friend Zach, not the Zach you know, a different Zach. Do you know his handle? We'll find out his handle.
I don't
We'll throw
know
it on
Zach's
screen.
handle.
He had this one and I kept looking at it. I'm like, Zach, let me see that again. Let me see it again.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, like halfway through last year, I was like, Zach, can I buy that off you? And he sold it to me. It's a beautiful custom.
Let's go. Wells, you said?
Wells. And
Okay.
we were just looking online. I don't think it has a name.
Yeah,
It's just a Wells custom.
This seems like the kind of maker who makes a lot of one-offs and has a design and just rolls with it. So
The reason I bought it primarily, look at the transition from the micarta to the brass to the wood.
yeah,
That is what just like made me, I don't often need things. And you'll find this about my collection. I don't often need things. I needed something.
the smallest pile was I bought.
Yes,
So,
seriously.
yes.
Like, it's truly the smallest pile.
Yeah.
But this is a really
Super
cool one.
cool.
Another one I bought within the last year was this one from Big Idea Design. It's probably called the Pocket Knife 2.0 or something.
Something like that.
Because they use weird names too.
Yes.
But this one, I like to support friends.
Yeah,
And this is a total friend buy for me.
Super cool. Yeah. Those guys are awesome. We're booth neighbors almost always at the shows. And yeah,
Good
definitely
friends.
good guys.
So when they launch a Kickstarter, I try to back it.
Yeah.
That one I was just like, okay, I need it because these are from friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
Same category on this one. We don't know the name on this one.
we know the designer.
The designer is Ray Laconico.
It's a Laconico.
Monterey Bay Knives.
Yes.
This one, I went to Carmel Cutlery.
Yeah.
If you're ever in California, in the Monterey Bay area, go to Carmel Cutlery. Sanford runs the joint, and it's a delightful knife shop. Like, our knife shop's kind of modern. His feels kind of like an old ship, like an old store on the sea.
That sounds cool.
Which is great.
It basically is.
It
Carmel by the
literally
sea.
it's literally like 100 yards from the beach.
Yeah.
I was like, I left his store and went to the beach.
That's cool.
Which was a delight.
For some good picks, I'm
I
sure.
had to buy this one. I don't even know what it's called. Look at that though, integral titanium.
Really
on that one.
cool. I am a sucker for flippers. I love a flipper, and then anything that hides in the handle calls to me. So that's pretty flush in there. So
And the people are probably looking at this going like, Ben, why don't you clean this up? And the answer is, my collection is not pristine.
yeah, you're not a collector.
No.
Yeah, you use your stuff.
I've said this before, I'm a story collector, right?
we
So
go.
this is friends. That's from a friend at this event.
Yeah.
This is going to somewhere and buying something on the road. Like, that to me is really like why I collect things and why I don't need that knife.
Yeah.
I clearly have enough cutting tools.
Sure.
But like, there's something about it that I'm like, well, Zach owned it and he's got a story behind it. And now I want to buy that story. And that's why I buy them.
I love that.
But I also buy them like, we looked at this one a while ago.
This one's a similar story, though.
Yeah.
You were in a place, you saw a thing that called to you. You
Yes.
loved the story, you talked to the guy, you liked
Yes.
the story behind it.
This is like the Lycian. We did it. I'm sorry, Christian. I'm sorry. This is the Lycian like scalpel.
Yeah.
Again, I love like that styling. There's something about when knives start to transition between like this paper micarta and those Zen pins that are just like a delight.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need that.
I've always said this about knives, watches, cars, stuff that like dudes are into. I think that we are attracted to things that, number one, perform a task, do a job sort of thing. But then number two, it's like, how does it look? How does it feel?
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good example of like, it's got this beautiful decorative pin in it. The micarta and the steel is so perfectly melded together around the spine. Like it's a lovely piece.
And this is one of what I would call 3 customs. I own 3 customs exactly.
Yeah.
This one, and then another one I couldn't find. It's a big old dagger. But I don't collect customs particularly. Custom knife being a maker made a certain number of these, or it came off of like literally a maker's bench.
Yep.
Couple others that I've bought in the last few years. This one is the TRM Atom. Now this one was kind of bought on purpose accident.
Okay.
I had expressed interest in TRM knives, and Marianne Halpern, who owns the company, she was like, "Hey, I've got a blue one. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, $275. And I was like, "Whoa." I don't know. It was either $250 or $275. At the time, that was the most expensive knife I'd ever bought.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's amazing.
Yeah, I want it.
I said yes already, so.
And I ended up buying it. And the interesting thing about this one, Austin, is at the time I was designing the Lander. So this is another one in my collection, Lander 1. I was working on this design and I actually finished it. And it didn't have removable scales. Well, I bought this one and I was like, removable scales. And it like sparked something in my mind that I was like, so these scales are absolutely removable. And I took that idea and applied it here. It wasn't patented, wasn't trademarked. I was like, this is an open idea. And I applied it to the Lander 1, which is really fun to me because you've probably seen this one in my collection.
No, that one's fresh. No, I definitely.
The old Benchmade sequel.
Yeah.
So this is a discontinued knife. I used to carry it at Blade HQ. This one actually has a ton of use on it.
Oh yeah.
And I love this knife. It's not in print anymore. And it had a few things that I thought, that could be better. So if you look at like a Lander 1 next to a Benchmade sequel, are they copies? No. Inspired by and sizing? Absolutely.
You can see the similarities for sure.
So it's kind of fun because it's like you go from here to here to here.
Yeah.
And these ones in my collection are kind of fun. This one is from my friend Maxie.
These are cool.
This is like the flight plan for the 1969 moon launch.
Super cool.
So made by Daily Customs. And then when I was in Germany, I had all the guys at Daily Customs and all the folks at Knife Lounge sign it. So this one I'm like, do I need another Lander 1 in my collection? No, not really.
But it's a story. It's another story in your collection.
It's another story. This one, the scales on this one were made by Squid Industries. They made them for me as a test, but they made these ones specifically in blue because I love blue. So I love to collect the story side of it. Same with like this LT Wright. This is a little powder.
Yeah.
Which, is this a custom, Austin?
Probably not. I would say some sort of regular production, but a nice one.
I would say that like LT Wright is right in that range of like production, but almost a factory custom.
Yeah, I wanted to call it a mid-tech. That's a very folder sort of term where you get all of the parts assembled by usually the creator of the knife, the designer of the knife. I think this is in that range.
It's in that range, but I love that one too. And you'll see there's a lot of blue in my collection, especially as you get into this section over here, the knives that were given to me.
That's right.
So we're going to come back to that after we go to where?
We're going to Onzo.
Ooh, shall we go to Denmark?
Let's go.
Field trip to Onzo, let's go. What is up, guys? I am in Farah, Denmark, and I am with my friend Jens. Onzo, Jens, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm so good. You want to give us a shop tour?
Let's go. I've always wanted to do that. I'm Jens Ansø. I'm a knife maker and knife designer out of Denmark.
You're one of, what, top 5 designers in the world?
I didn't say that.
No, who said it?
I didn't.
Somebody said that. But when it comes to somebody who has worked with companies all over the place, Jens is tops. How many have you worked with?
I've worked with Spyderco, Boker, Kershaw, Zero Tolerance, Viper, MKM, Fox. I think that's about it. I lost track. Giant Mouse. This is the map of world domination of the Ansø Empire. This is Karina's office and the shipping warehouse. This is where we do a lot of assembly of knives, some handwork, grinding on the blades. This is the laser department because we have 2 lasers. It's a department. Here we do anodizing of parts, and here is the main shop floor. This is where we have our CNCs.
What do you tell somebody? Quick answer. How do you get into this knife design thing that you do?
Don't.
Don't.
Stay in school. Stay in your regular job. Don't. In all seriousness, this is hard. Really, really hard. But it's super fun. And you get to meet nice people. A small grinding room. Over here we don't do much grinding, but it's just small adjustments to parts and stuff like that. This wonderful, wonderful old surface grinder that is just very expensive, very, very good. I love it. And I actually don't know how to run it. Maximizer. I have 2 of those. This is state-of-the-art machinery, and I just love this one. I actually have more hammers than grinders, and I use my grinders much more than I use my hammers.
Why do you have so many hammers?
It's the man's oldest tool next to the knife, right?
Can a man ever have too many hammers?
No, can a man have too many knives?
Why do you have so many shops?
A man can never have enough shops, right? You don't get rich in knife making, so one of the reasons why I've done what I've done has been out of pure necessity. I never built my company with growth in mind. Growth has always been a result. This is what I do. I can't see myself doing anything else. If it's not driven by passion, don't do it.
Do you have more hammers or more collaborations?
I can safely say that I have more collaborations.
And there you have it, guys, from the studio, the shop, the 2 shops, all the hammers with Jens on. So Jens, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ben. It was a pleasure.
And back to the desk.
And we're back, but only for a moment, as we're heading right back out to the Ship Shape Sharpening Shop. Let's go see what Keith's got this week.
Hey guys, welcome to Ship Shape Sharpening Shop. I'm Keith, and today we don't have a whole bunch in for sharpening, so I'm going to show you a couple of my knives that I need to sharpen up. I've got an Essie Azula. This one is actually my son's knife. We've been using it for a little whittling and carving and stuff, so I'm going to tune that guy up. I really like this knife. Paracord wrap is sweet. One of my favorite fixed blades, Bradford Guardian 3. I absolutely love this thing so much. N690, got the cool little bead on here. I got this from a buddy of mine, so I really like that one. I made a little taco sheath for it as well. Jamie, what's in your pocket? We've got a Yonder, surprise, surprise. I think I actually sharpened this one, didn't I, Jamie?
Yes, you did.
Cool. Yeah, love this knife, super slicey. This thing's pretty sweet. I really dig it. All right, back to you guys.
Our new favorite thing in Ship Shape Sharpening Shop is to hide in the back of the window.
Yes, so keep an eye out. Look closely.
We may not be in this one, but that is our ultimate goal, is to be in all the background.
We try and sneak out for
He
everyone.
hates it, and
Oh,
that's why we do it.
That's the only reason. Absolutely.
All right, Austin, the second section of my knife collection is knives given to me. And
Yes.
this is like literally thousands of dollars of things that people have just said, Ben, this is yours.
Yeah.
And it's really fun because each of these has a story for me. I want to start off on this bug out.
Okay.
Blade Show, Texas, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Really good friend named Caesar was there, and he stopped by the booth, and he's like, Ben, I want you to have this. This is like the bougie bug out.
Gold class, maybe? I don't know. It's a nice one.
S90V with carbon fiber and Fancy Boy. And I don't know that I've carried it. He carried it. You
Yeah.
can see the wear on there.
Yeah.
We were talking about this
Cool
before he started rolling. I often don't carry the knives in my collection, not because I'm not interested in carrying them. I'm usually carrying a prototype of some sort.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be like, I own a knife company, and then like, well, what's in your pocket? A bug out, right? Like,
it's a real funny moment as another knife collector, someone who really loves all of the knives that I've accumulated over the years. It's like, oh, but I work at Knafs, and all I really want to care about is my Knafs knives right now, right? Like, I like to do the same thing. If someone sees me out in the public, I want to have a Knafs knife on me. I want to make sure that I'm showing it off and appreciating it in the right way. So it's an interesting thing.
So typically, like, I'll carry something new that I receive for a couple days because I want to understand it. One I just got in Texas was I'm going to mispronounce the name because I don't know how. This is 2 weeks in a row mispronouncing it. It's called the Bexar.
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 Yeah, something like that.
This is from Tactile Turn, and Michael over there, it was the end of the show this year.
Yeah.
And he's like, Ben, do you want this? He brought it with a really cold Topo Chico.
He did.
He's like, Ben, try this. So I opened up the Topo Chico, which is a little terrifying because you kind of come like at your hand.
Yeah.
And opened up the Topo Chico, and he's like, you can have it. I was like, dang, that's cool. Here's the thing I love about Tactile. They're down in Texas, and I love the texture.
The machine milling they do is really, really cool.
It's a delight. Now, I want to be transparent in what we do. I don't give away all the secrets, but I want to like explain to people how things work. So a couple years ago, I realized Tactile does this delightful texture. And I'm like, oh, it's so visceral and delightful.
Yeah.
So the texture on the Yipper, although not the same, that idea came from Tactile Turn.
Okay.
And the way that they do their milling, I said, that is an interesting way to do it. Hand me that Sendy over there as well.
Yep.
The texture on the Sendy, the inspiration for it came from a cedar tree as like a texture.
Yep.
But the idea of how to do it came from Tactile.
Oh, okay.
So I love the fact that things in my collection inspire ideas as far as a designer goes.
Well, and we're already 2 categories in of our 3 categories, and you've given examples out of both of them, ones that you've bought, ones that you've been given, of how they've influenced your own designs.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. Somebody called me a thief the other day on the internet. They were like, Ben, you stole this. In fact, let's talk about this for just a minute. They were looking at this choil right here, and they were like, you stole that from Spyderco.
Oh.
So if we look at a shaman,
Okay.
you'll notice that they do a lot of those finger choils.
Yeah.
Where's the line of theft and inspiration, Austin?
There is no line. It is unclear as ever, I would say.
Is it the law? I would say it's the law.
You could say
right?
that for sure.
If the law
Patent
says
law.
this is a patent or trademark, we've talked about trademarks, right? I would say that is where the line is, where you don't steal, you don't be inspired from. But is it theft? Is it stealing?
No, and I look at that and I'm like, man, there have been, like, you've got it in the big banter as well, right? And I'm spoiling so many things that we've got coming.
We went there.
But I don't know if Spyderco even started the forward finger choil as part of the blade, right?
And that was what I was curious about. I actually went searching, and I was like, who did the first forward finger choil?
Yeah.
Surely it was on like a fixed blade back in like the 50s or 60s, maybe earlier?
You would think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's always like this interesting thing. If it's not patented, in my mind, like ask, but also like that is how innovation happens.
Yes.
Like don't go steal ideas. I think theft is such an interesting word.
Yeah.
Right? But that is how the world works, is somebody invents something. And even the fact that patents expire, that is designed so that innovation can continue to happen around that.
Correct. So that people have the opportunity to then come back and revisit, we'll call it an old idea at that point. Yeah.
I want to come back to that with the clutch lock on the drop bear. That's a tease. But let's keep on the top section up here.
Yeah, let's do the other knife that inspired this. How about?
Ooh, yes, the 940-2.
Yeah.
Check that out. You can definitely see some inspiration in there. This is one in my collection. I just feel like everybody needs a 940 in their collection, without trying to advertise for Benchmade, right?
Fair.
But the reality, this is almost a classic in a way that, like, to understand some of the knives that came afterward, you almost have to have a 940 to like wrap your head around it. It has issues, in my opinion. I think the blade stock is too thick. I think the blade shape is funky.
Sure.
But like this, I think is one of those like launched 1,000 ships knives. Like just really important for the entire industry.
Totally agree.
Other knives in my collection. This is a James Brand Chapter 2.
Yeah. Love a good James Brand knife.
This one's cool. They just sent it to me.
Yeah.
Basically, Ryan up there was like, Ben, I want you to look at what we've been doing. And I'm like, cool. I actually love this. I think it used to be a tip down carry knife. They've changed it to tip up.
They did.
A lot of people dog on the James Brand for price.
Sure.
They're like, it's too expensive. I look at this and I'm like, they're not playing in the same game as a lot of knife companies.
Correct. Yeah, this is definitely more of, I talked about knives being art earlier and stuff like that. Like this, I look at this and I'm like, it's not an art piece, but it's got more art to it than maybe your standard knife.
Totally. And it's got a lot of design. Like it's beautiful, beautiful design. Yeah. Other knives in my collection, Austin, these three are interesting.
Let's get into some ProTech.
We've seen some of these before in knife collection videos.
It's a Calmigo, right?
Calmigo.
Yes.
This one was, I tried to get it in the video we did with Dave at ProTech. It ended up getting scrapped. But I was at Bruce Shaw's engraving shop.
Okay.
And I was like, Bruce, engrave this we'll film it. So I kind of like snuck a free engraving in there.
Engraving,
and then they ended up putting like a pearl lip button in there when I was there. So this one is super meaningful to me because it was the one we used as a prop in that video.
Super cool.
While I was at their shop though, Dave gave me this Newport.
Yes.
In blue.
Yeah.
And it says on the back of the handle, "What is up, guys? Shop Tour 2018."
Love it.
Again, stories, right? Like I collect these pieces and parts of life.
Do you ever carry either of those?
I carried this one a bit. I carried this one a lot back in the day. I love the size of the Calmigo.
It's a cool knife.
It's just, it feels nice. It's got this nice little flat right here where your finger kind of sinks into. Like when you talk about finger choils, like finger choils are very much designed to keep your finger away from the blade.
Right.
This is almost like not a choil.
Yeah.
Like you're pretty close to the blade. I mean,
for sure.
You're dang close, but like you're gripping your hand
pulling
pressures
in.
Yeah. So it's a really nice feature on this knife that makes it very carryable and pocketable.
Super cool. Oh yeah.
This one's great.
Here we go.
ProTech Godson.
Real showpiece right there.
I've never carried this one.
What's the inlay on that? Is it a burlwood?
Burlwood something. I don't know. So we actually did some filming with this one, and then at the end of the shoot, Dave was like, "Here, Ben, this is yours now." And I was like, "Thanks." Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I think this is a delightful piece of ProTech showmanship, right? Like you've got the two-tone on the blade grind. You've got like the brushed finish up here and then kind of a satin finish down below.
Yep.
So I've never carried this one. I don't know what I would do with this one.
To me, those are art pieces. Like very classic, stiletto almost, kind of got that coffin handle. But yeah, ProTech, they just crush it every time.
They do.
They're the best.
Those are fun ones. I love them.
Super fun.
Next, this is kind of the auto section.
Let's keep rolling with autos. Yeah, so these are axial.
Axial shift.
That's a shift.
That
I think this is the Zach and the Wild version, is that right?
Yes, exactly. And I actually have 3 of these. And I was sitting here like, where did this one come from? So all 3 together, I think Colby, who is an amazing human being, if you're looking for an OTF, check out Axial. I think I helped him with something. He sent me this one.
Okay.
And then Zach came out with this one with Colby. And then this one, we went down to his shop and visited him, and he gave all of us that one. It's got a Knafs logo on the back of it.
A little secret there.
So I have 3 of these, and ask me how often I carry an OTF.
How often do you carry an OTF?
Never.
Never. Yes.
I don't. Maybe I'm not tactical enough. I don't know. Why don't I carry OTFs, Austin?
I don't know. Let me ask this: do you like to play with them? Do you like the in and out action?
I actually do.
Okay.
Here's the problem, though. An OTF at a desk, like in an office,
they're
even
loud.
at a knife company, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I love to sit there and play with knives at my desk.
Yeah.
But like you can play with this thing pretty quietly.
Yeah.
Do I need a microphone? Like listen to that versus like not stab myself in the neck. Like decibels?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's got a tone to it for sure.
It does.
Maybe an aggressive tone even.
Like we sit in the same office. Do you want to hear that all day?
No, I don't. And I would say I even carry like knife flicker opener guilt from just like playing with my knife at my desk all day. I'm like, there's no way people love this. So I get it.
Wow, knife flicker opener guilt.
I don't know, man. Just making up
Can
stuff.
we make an acronym for that?
I feel like that needs to be on it. We'll have to check that with HR or something like that, but we can look into it for sure.
Another OTF in my collection that
Yeah.
I love. This is from Andy at Guardian Tactical. And I don't think I inspired this one. I really don't. But I told Andy, you need to make one that has a 2.9-inch blade.
Oh.
And a couple years later, he's like, what's your address? And he sent me this one. And
Cool.
the thing I love about Guardian Tactile, feel that
Yeah.
compared to like just the speed of opening is a delight.
When you're manipulating the slide, there's a lot less tension. It's a very smooth, like all the way forward and all the way back compared to a lot of other ones that have a click to them almost.
So I love this one because he made it in my favorite color.
Yeah.
And I like to think I helped inspire an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I think he sent me this one as a thank you for that.
Cool.
So.
And let's keep getting smaller here. Microtech UTX 70, I believe.
Dude, that's a partially serrated knife.
Partially serrated.
I didn't realize that.
I just caught that as well, a half
Here I
serrated
am
knife.
dogging on
Look at you,
serrations.
you hypocrite.
I know. I traded this one for something. I don't remember who I traded.
Okay.
Don't remember what I traded. But after years of shilling Microtechs at Blade HQ, I was like, I probably need a Microtech. And the trade was right.
Yeah.
So I went for it. But
Cool.
that is
There
the
it is.
only partial serrated in my entire collection.
There it is.
Wow.
Well, what an uncover right there. That
I
was
know.
cool.
I almost feel guilty for what I said 2 weeks ago about serrations.
No, it's okay. And now you can say, well, I have experience, and so my opinion is even more valuable
okay,
now.
so here's the reason that serrations are bad on this. Look how small that blade is, and half of it is pure serrations.
True.
Like, how are you going to cut an apple with that? How are you going to, I don't know, open an envelope? You open an envelope, those serrations are just going to get caught in there.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Wow, there's a lot of knives on the table, guys. I hope
know.
this is helpful, interesting. If you have questions or if we've gotten something wrong, let us know in the comments.
And I hate to tease it, but this isn't even half of your collection, my friend.
No, we
Yeah.
have an entire box.
Yeah.
In fact, I think when we did pre-pro on this video, we were supposed to bring the entire box. It probably weighs 300 pounds, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with not bringing the box.
It's a large tool chest worth.
Okay, this one's an interesting one, Austin.
Talk to me about your Inkosi.
This is a Sebenza Inkosi. Is it an Inkosi Sebenza? How does that?
I'm so bad with CRK stuff.
Okay.
Just out of my range.
Christopher Knives, Sebenza with an Inkosi blade, I believe is the exact
that's right.
naming. I received this one from my boss at Blade HQ as I was leaving.
Oh, very cool.
It was a very nice gift. And it was really funny. He said, Ben, you're never going to spend money on this yourself. I know you've always wanted one. Here you go.
Cool.
And I was like, thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, shout out Jacob.
Jake and Mark gave it to me, which is really cool. It was kind of the last knife from, well, maybe second to last knife from the Blade HQ era.
Okay.
And it's a treasure in my collection.
Yeah.
I got to spend a day with Chris once. I've spent a day with Tim in the shop and Anne.
Yeah.
And this to me is like almost like this, like knife family memorabilia is the way I would put it. So
I love that one because I agree with them. You probably never would have spent the money on that yourself if you were up to
I
it,
never would
so,
have.
yeah.
You know what else I wouldn't spend the money on?
Oh, come on. I would spend my money on a whole fleet of these.
This is the Boker Mermaid.
Yes.
And I think my last week at Blade HQ, I was awarded the Mermaid.
Oh, no way.
From the team.
Okay.
They put it in a river, in the Provo River, and they're like, Ben, come here, come look at this. And I like, went and pulled it out of the water. It's a kind
That's
of
cool.
a fun little like memory.
I feel like you started the trend of the Boker Mermaid, or at least like Blade HQ did in your guidance, maybe.
It was, we didn't start it. She called.
That's true.
She called and
She
said, we'll be
started it.
part of this.
Yes.
And so, I don't know. This one to me is like the stupidity of knives all in one place.
I don't know how, but when I look at that knife, it only reminds me of like 2018 Blade HQ.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
When I see it, that's all I
And
think
a
about.
lot of people bought them. I remember the sales. I'm like, guys, don't buy this knife. And they're like, yes, we will.
That's right. True showpiece.
Super fun on that one. Other couple knives in the collection, a couple fixed
Yeah,
blades.
what you got?
Given to me, Knives by Nuge. Don't know what the name of this one is, but kind of a fun one. Fixed blade,
Beautiful
also in
knife.
blue.
Yeah, Ben Blue.
Yep, I like that one. I traded a guy, I think, or he just gave it to me. I can't remember.
Yeah.
This giant mouse. Is it the Biblio?
I thought the Biblio was a folder. I could be wrong.
Help us out in the comments, guys. This is where our knowledge falls off an entirely great cliff.
Yep.
This one came with this edge that was just.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
polished.
see that mirror
Yeah,
finished edge?
I can see that.
Like
Yeah,
wild.
it's been touched up. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I've never used it because I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm just like, it's so pretty.
I'm going to ruin the mirror.
Yeah.
I get it. I've done that to my knife, and then you feel bad about using it. What's this one here?
This one is a reef knife from my friend Stu. He and I were next to each other at a trade show once. And at the end of the show, he was like, here, Ben, have this.
Cool.
And I was like, that's cool.
It's a good looking knife.
I like things like that.
Yeah.
And the sheath is beautiful. It's made, I believe, in Idaho, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
3V on it.
Yeah.
And it just feels nice. It's bigger than
thick
anything like I would probably build.
Yeah.
As I look at the
The
large Lulu over
I
there.
know.
It just feels like a really big handle.
It's a thick piece of stock too. That's a big old just ready to be beaten on knife.
Yeah,
So
totally.
and then of course the timber
Oh
rattler.
man, the timber rattler.
There she is. Tell me about the signatures on this.
Okay, so there it was, Blade, Texas. A lot of stuff on the table is Blade, Texas this year. We had a Moon Crew meetup where we got a whole bunch of people. In fact, they organized it. Patrick Patterson, one of our admins in the Moon Crew on Facebook, organized it. And so I went and they presented me with the timber rattler.
Yeah.
And everybody that was there signed it, which is amazing.
That's cool.
This is a hideous knife.
My question is why? Why would we make
Why
this?
not?
Yeah, that's the better answer.
Why would you not want a double-handed Bowie?
Classic.
We decided that this is made in Pakistan, but we don't know entirely.
That's the best guess. I love the teeny little pin for the pivot there.
Yes.
It's just a nice little guy.
Look at that. It actually is. Stainless steel Pakistan.
Oh, there you go.
We didn't know it was made in Pakistan.
No.
Pakistani knives have a feeling, and this one has that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know, how would you describe that feeling?
To me, it's almost more of a look, like very contrasty, very polished, whether that's the inlays or the metal or whatever it is. It's kind of got a look to it.
It's got a vibe.
Yeah.
And this one is a delight. So thank you to the entire Moon Crew for the timber rattler.
Shout out to you guys.
Sweet.
Do it.
The timber rattler. I feel like that
she
needs
is.
like a theme song, like a
Oh
shake.
yes.
Like,
Old
have you ever
Western.
been to the monster truck rally?
Oh, of course.
Where the grave digger comes out?
Yes.
And the whole building shakes. The grave digger. I think we need something like that for the timber rattler.
I love it.
That's amazing.
That's on you guys. Work on that.
Make it happen.
Let's go. Cool.
What's up next, Austin?
Let's take a pause before we jump on to the next section. Let's go to the Moon Crew.
Ooh, what do we got?
Yeah. Let's check them out. I'm actually not sure what we've got this week.
Someone's thinking about dyeing their scales.
Oh, love that. Oh, for the wood. That's right. I saw that. Someone was asking, has anyone experimented with dyeing the wood from We and Civivi? So someone's thinking about doing their own set of wood scales. Have you seen that in the wild before?
Never seen that one.
Yeah, maybe tried to
Would
refinish
I?
that.
I'm trying to think if I would do that. I don't know. It's a natural material. It's been stabilized.
It has been stabilized.
In theory, you could probably just dip it in some water.
Yeah.
And let it be.
Maybe you could even like stain it, take off the top layer and stain it or something
That's
like
a
that.
cool one.
Oh, this was a big trend on the Moon Crew. So people were showing off their knives and guitars. This happens to be a very cool carbon fiber acoustic electric guitar, which I thought was really cool. Who's that from? Andrew?
Classic. Andrew Liss.
Andrew Liss.
That's like way classy.
Super cool.
That's amazing. Do you play any instruments, Austin?
No, I wish. I have a guitar. I almost participated in this just to be like, guys, this thing that I've never played before, but here's my knife with it.
Sarge had like a nose heart. Is it a nose heart? Mouth heart.
Something, yeah.
mouth heart
It was
that
a
he
weird
played
one.
for us.
Oh, yeah, the ones that go barrel, 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 barrel. Yeah.
This is from Nick Evans, current EDC. Graduated from grad school last spring and finally gainfully employed to rock something other than a strict budget carry. That's cool. So he's rocking a big eye pen.
Love that.
You got a Lander 3
Yep.
clip point.
Is that a Leatherman there?
Yep, Leatherman free.
Yep, and then
Right in the rain.
AirPods case.
Yep.
Super cool. I like the I love what people are doing. It seems like people are really attracted to the leather with that clip point version of the Lander 2 or 3. They like the leather lanyard with the gold accents.
I like the booster bead you put on there too.
Really cool.
The booster bead might be one of my favorite like ancillary products in our line.
Totally.
Just because it's like, do you need a booster bead? No.
Well, you want to talk.
Looks cool.
You want to talk about a cool story too. It's not perfectly, but totally modeled after a booster rocket.
Yeah.
But you look at it, and if you didn't know that, you might be like, oh, this is just a cone, but it makes perfect sense for my hand because if you're trying to use that for your fourth finger or whatever, it's like this perfect little ramp to lock you in. But it's also aesthetically pleasing, so I love that about it.
Where did that idea come from? Ideas come from everywhere. We were like, we need a bead on the Lander 4. What do we do?
Yeah.
And we were just like, booster bead.
Yeah, space for sure. We got to figure that out.
Going on to Mailbox here, Austin.
Great. Let's grab some stuff.
We've had a bunch of stuff come in.
Yeah. So this is some recent stuff.
Check this out. This is from James.
Yeah, James Maxwell, I believe.
James Maxwell stopped by the shop. He was in town. He works for Northrop Grumman.
Yep.
On the NASA programs.
Yeah. So he was out here like testing some rocket bodies or something like that.
So he brought us a bunch of pictures of the Artemis program, launches and different things. I was like, dude, my little like nerd heart just nerded out.
Super cool. Some NASA swag as well. Some patches, some stickers. There's an Artemis sticker. Ooh, a little booster sticker there too. Super fun. Or pod sticker, I should
We love
say.
stuff like this. But we're talking about space.
Yeah.
This was not from the same
Yeah.
loadout, but
I don't know
this
anything
was
about
from
this.
Brooksy. Brooksy sent us a stamp of Apollo 8, probably from the 60s. Dang. It's an 6-cent stamp.
Dang, 6 cents.
And I don't think it's been used. I feel like,
Wow.
what do you do? I'm not a stamp collector. If
know.
you collect stamps, let me know what I do with this.
Yeah.
Because it's like sitting on my desk and I'm like, do I frame it?
Is it gonna crumble sitting over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's proper etiquette for a stamp?
For sure. I know. I wish I knew. I am also.
I know proper etiquette for knives. You throw them in a toolbox and let them rattle
Spray 'em
around.
with WD-40 or something. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was really cool.
And tell me about this feather.
Okay.
That we've got.
So I met a guy named George, and this was at Blade, Texas. He makes these for his son, who I believe is autistic.
Okay.
And he just has like this vigor for life. And so he makes these and hands these out to remind people to be vigorous in life.
No way.
So I thought that was super cool.
Love that.
Excuse me, he's 17 and has Down syndrome.
Down syndrome.
He weathers life like a feather,
Oh,
which I thought was amazing.
That is
so,
cool.
George, thank you for that.
Shout out.
And to your son, Lucas, amazing.
yeah. Keep on rocking.
Really cool.
Super cool. I think that's it.
And what is
Oh,
this?
yes, this was from James as well. This is a little, like an 8-bit sort of do-yourself lunar lander model.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe if we have a down show one time, maybe I'll just sit here and build a puzzle while you're talking about something else.
I love that.
Yes.
The desk has gotten messy, but we're going to finish this off
That's right.
with sample knives today.
Let's go.
Okay, so the last category of my collection is knives I bought to understand them. So first on this list, let's talk about the Spyderco Shaman. This one was actually in a Zack in the Wild video, not sharp. We de-sharpened it.
Totally dull, which is fun.
I think people were really sad about this. Is an expensive knife.
They're very expensive.
And like people were really sad about the fact that we doled this thing up.
Yep.
So I bought this one to understand big knives. I have medium-sized hands, and I wanted to understand, why does somebody want a big knife?
Okay.
So I bought this one before I designed the Big Banter.
Yep.
Obviously, very, very different knives. Even I would say that the choils are absolutely different. But I think it's like, if you were designing cars, you would want to drive as many cars as humanly possible to understand them. How do they handle? What makes them good? What makes them bad?
Right.
This Shaman was one that I was like, what's the hype on this thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's too big for me.
Sure.
Even the Big Banter,
Yes.
it's too dang big
I mean,
for me.
you got 1.5 inches sticking
look
out
at
on
that
the
thing.
bottom there.
Look
yeah.
at that.
That's a lot of knife.
I made this one by request for people, the Big Banter, and I don't regret it.
yeah.
But I also don't feel like I love it.
It's got its cult following though, and I think
does.
you're talking to the people who love the Shaman, right? Like, and talking about the things that make the Shaman great. It's got all the reversible stuff, right? So a lot of Spydercos come tip down, but you can flip it to tip up. The action on this knife is really awesome, as I kind of failed to deploy it there.
It's okay, it's not sharp. You can try again.
Yeah, but the action on this knife is really awesome. It's got a unique closing mechanism, special to Spyderco, as a lot of you guys know.
Compression lock.
Compression lock. But yeah, I think you're talking to the same audience here
Yeah.
with the Big Banter, and I think that's a great design. Maybe it's not for you, but I think it's for a lot of other people.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
It's a big one.
Like, look.
It's a big
And
one.
people complain too, because we grab a Banter over there.
Yeah,
us.
of
We're in our
course.
storefront. By the way, if you ever watch this show and you're like, hey, I want to go to the storefront, we open at noon. People have been we've had 3 people stop by. while
Two
we
people
film.
already coming to the door. Yep.
So people have complained about this one, that the blade length is almost the exact same length as
your cutting edge there.
your cutting edge.
Yep.
And I'm like, I wasn't going for kidneys on this thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was going for big hands.
Yeah, I'm looking for the same sort of usability, but for a bigger mitt, basically.
Yep.
Which I think is cool.
Anyway, just kind of an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
That one's a proto. Was this
I
on
know.
the
Let me
shelf?
put that in my pocket here.
kidding,
Like,
man.
we'll keep that off the shelf from now on. But yeah.
Other knives.
Yeah, what else do we want to talk about? Some of the
Let's-
stuff down here.
Let's talk about these two. This is a Kaiser Drop Bear. And between the Kaiser Drop Bear and the Benchmade Bug Out, Bug Out, obviously, like, you helped launch this knife back in what, 2018?
Yeah, 17 maybe? Yeah.
We were both at Blade HQ. Hans came, you did a video with him.
Yeah,
This is
super
like,
fun.
we helped, they made it, we helped get it out into the wild.
I agree. Yeah, great product.
So great knife. It's kind of flimsy. I think the drop bear was probably looking at a bug out when they designed it.
Sure.
The thing I liked about this one when I got it, I was like, wow, the action on this is super smooth.
Really good.
And I was like, well, Kaiser does OEM work. What if we had them do a clutch lock? And so we had them make the Lander 2. Obviously different knives, but I said, how do you take what's good about this thing in terms of action and like quality of work and apply it to something else? So this is the Lander 2 Moondust micarta with all of my random engravings. I don't have real knives, folks. I have crappy knives.
Sanded down handles, all the good stuff. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about the drop bear and they feel like, obviously the drop bear's been around a little bit longer than the Lander 2 and the 3, but they feel like it actually kind of fits right in the middle of the Lander 2 and 3.
Interesting as far as sizing.
Sizing, you know, this is a thicker knife, the drop bear for sure, because it's your sandwich construction, so you've got a little bit of a difference there.
Can I tell you something that drives me crazy about both of these?
Please do.
The notch. See that notch?
Sticking off the tang, yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that you see in a lot of Benchmades. They'll leave that notch out, and basically the reason you have to have that notch is it rubs up against the stop pin on the back.
Yep.
The 940 hides the notch with that. On the Lander 2, we tried so stinking hard to not have a notch. There's just barely that tip out right there.
Little teeny one.
But little things like that, if you can look at these and say, oh, I don't like this or I do like that, that's where, for me, design inspiration comes from.
That's exactly what I would say. Like, that's a perfect example of 1% better or 1% different, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm making this because my eye does not love this, and I think other people will like that
Totally.
too. So.
Next on the list, you look at the Sendi. We've already looked at this knife, but the Civivi Sendi with the toothpick and tweezers.
Yes.
I had this designed in my mind, but then I was like, okay, mechanically, I need to understand how these other knives in the category work. So I bought a couple Bokers. This is the Boker Kanzai.
Okay.
This thing is sick.
Pretty cool. That's a classy knife.
I love it.
Little blue accent on the back too.
Also, I've carried it. Again,
Wear that with pride, Ben.
should I or should I clean it up?
No,
this
wear
is
it with
30-second job with
You
some
have
rubbing
200 knives. You can't clean them all.
I know. It's true. It's true. I don't even know. It looks like I cut a steak or something.
Probably.
I'm a slob, man. I'm
Probably.
a sloppy human being.
No, it's classy.
But I really like this one. And the thing that I really wanted to understand is it has this inline flipper.
Kind of funky, yeah.
And if you look at this sort of sits up above the bolster section of the knife, like that shoulder. The Sendi sort of sits as level as we could get it. This one you can actually front flip too.
There you go.
You can actually front flip this one too.
Some would say.
Someone can.
say.
Anyway, that one is super cool. But I love Brad Zinker and his work.
Oh yeah.
He's just a great human being.
Yep.
And I wanted to understand this sort of Barlow handle shape. And so I bought this one as well, the Urban Trapper Flipper.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see, like, these are two samples that I needed to understand and I bought. And the Sendi is not a copy, but it is, I don't know, in the same wheelhouse. Like, these guys could go to the same prep school together. I don't know.
There you go. In the same clique. Yeah, there you go.
They're all on the basketball team.
There you go.
Or maybe they're the
bunch
kids,
of ballers.
These might be the hacky sack kids in the hallway.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Let us know in the comments. What is this crew? Man, high school. I've got my 20-year reunion this year.
Yes.
And I've been thinking a lot about high school. And I'm
Yeah.
like, was it good? Was it bad? Was it just?
Did it exist?
It existed.
Yeah, interesting.
I think it's part of the fabric of life.
I think when I was, let's not take too long of a tangent here, but
Let's tangent
when,
away.
when I was a little bit out of high school, the first 5 or 10 years, I looked back very fondly on high school and
Did
thought
you?
it was a good time. Now I almost could care less about my
Are you
high
going to
school
go to your
experience.
20-year reunion?
I would like to, for sure. I missed the first couple. We did a 5, which is a fast one, and then a 10, which I missed, but I want to try to go to the 20.
I've missed all of them.
Yeah.
Not because I was bitter or anything. I just was living out of state or I was out of town or whatever.
Yeah.
This year I'm going to try to go. So let us know what clique the knives are in there.
And let us know if I should sneak in and film something.
There's a video on YouTube. Sorry, now we're down a rabbit hole. They found this guy that was like a lookalike for somebody in their class.
Oh, okay.
And they sent him in. He was kind of like this kid that was a little nerdy or something. They sent him in to the class reunion. They sent the actor in as this guy. And people were like, "You're not that guy." And it like warmed his little heart. They were
That's
like,
cool.
"I knew you in high school. You're not him.
That's cool.
Tell me what we did on this day." And it was like, no. So I don't know. if you're in high school, life gets better.
Yeah, and people remember.
And people do remember.
Yeah, you're not forgettable.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, wow, that was a rabbit hole. We went there.
We went there.
Next on the list, the Spyderco Chaparral. I always wanted one of these when I worked at Blade HQ, never bought one. And I finally bought one. And it's a great little knife.
Yeah.
It's a pocket shredder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got an aggressive texture on the handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when we talk about like what helps you understand how something works, again, talking about that choil there, is it a copy? No, it's not a copy at all. But it's looking at it and saying, why does this work? Why does it not work?
Yeah.
I think that's an important part of anybody making something. You have to look at what exists already and say, what do I add to the conversation? What did they get right? You know, so
maybe one of the answers there too is like there's only a finite number of options that you can add to a knife.
Correct.
Forward finger choil being one of them.
Yep.
Opening hole being one of them.
Sharpening choil being one of them.
Yeah. So there's only so much you can do, right? Like in a way, it is all repeated process here.
It really is. I look at, we talk about them a lot, but Winter Blade Company, not in my collection. Let me know, Brian, if you need to add one.
Seriously cool stuff. Yeah.
But he's doing things with magnets that are really cool and remarkable.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing magnets, what is like absolutely new and fresh? It's a blade and a handle.
Yeah. It's the same old.
It is really, and maybe that's why I like it, is it's like 1.5 degrees of change.
Yeah.
And it's something new and interesting and fun.
Love it.
So anyway, guys, let us know what knife in the collection you like the most. Next up, we're coming to
Product spotlight.
what do we got? What do we got there, Austin?
We got one thing, but 4 things on the desk here. Here, I'll give you 2 there.
Ooh, thank you.
These are the newly released Lander 6. We've got them in 4 colors, blue, black, OD green, and purple. You may also hear this referenced as the mini Lander keychain knife. But yeah, what was the kind of idea behind this one?
So my whole concept on this was like, I wanted a knife that you could just throw on your keychain.
Yeah.
I also wanted an inexpensive knife. So we have our Nino's knife kit that you can make. And I was like, okay, if a Nino's knife kit is the first knife kit you get and you give it to a 4-year-old and you teach them how to use a backlock, well, what happens when they're an 8-year-old? When they're a 10-year-old or whatever age you decide is the best age to give a kid a knife, then what do you give them? I was like, well, what if we took the exact same mechanism, that backlock, and stuck it on a knife? But then I was like, well, it's a keychain knife, so let's do some fun colors. In fact, Jen, who works in our office, she immediately went and bought a purple one.
Yes.
Put it on our keys. She's like,
Yes.
I needed it, I want it, and now I have it.
Heck yeah.
And I've heard that from a lot of people who might, not to say that Jen isn't a traditional knife carrier, but like I think a lot of people don't necessarily want like a ProTech Godfather
Yeah.
on their person. Like
Yeah.
if you whip this out, like to open an Amazon box in an office,
Yeah.
that's a lot, man. That's
People
a
are
lot
like, what's
for some
going on
offices,
over here?
right?
Yeah.
And like the world is different in different places, but like that's a lot.
Well, and you mentioned price on these, opposite end of the spectrum on some of the stuff on the table. Like these are $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wanted something affordable, and like if I give them away to a bunch of like Boy Scouts or whatever, like easy peasy.
I'm saying, yeah, make really fun gifts. I, of course, bought one for myself and then for everyone that I know, basically. So yeah, really
Your
fun.
entire high school class then?
All of them. All 500 people of, my high school class.
The Sandy High School
Yeah. The
15, 20-year reunion is going to be hopping.
It's going to be hopping. Yeah, we're going to have some real good goodies handed out at the door. So
I love it.
Cool.
Last on our list today, Austin, this is wild.
You know, the collection was fun, but I might have been looking
do you
forward
mind
to this the
holding
most.
that?
Yes.
What do we have here? Fresh prints, man.
So, of course, our favorite, Matt Wheelwright. Some of his family is moving back into town, and so to express his gratitude for them being back, he made Mecha Godzilla and Mecha King Kong.
He's giving these to his nephews.
To his nephews.
And if I had that kind of Funkel, I would be thrilled.
I know, Matt's the best. These are all, so this is 100% 3D printed. Every piece that you see here, there is some gluing in the assembly, so he had to glue some parts together, but other than that, they're all just like ball joints and stuff like that.
How many days did you say? Like 5-6 days?
I think it was like 5 each or something like that.
That's
so I
crazy,
think
man.
I heard like 9 days of total print time. And then he said he spent at least a full day gluing everything as well.
That's wild.
So he
you and
spent
I
some
were
time
chatting
on this.
about if that thing were at Toys R Us when we were kids in the 90s,
Yeah.
how much?
I mean, it feels like it's well into the 3 digits, $100, $150.
I put like 150, 175.
Yeah.
Like this was the thing that would have come in like the beautiful like show it the entire thing, and
It probably would have came with like a small city or something that you stomp on or whatever.
You'd be like,
but-
Mom, I want that. And she'd be like, no, you can't have it.
No way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with 3D printers these days, man.
I love it. I've probably said that 10 times on this show. Guys, thank you for watching. This stuff is fun to us, and hopefully you got a good look into my brain and my knife collection. There's more. Maybe one day we'll do another full collection, but it would be like a 3-hour
It
ordeal.
would be. I'm up for it though.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I am. We'd have to like bring snacks.
And notes. I need a lot of knife notes.
Sheesh.
Yes.
Guys, if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. We'll have another video coming out for you soon.
We'll see you then.
Soon? Soon. Let's go.